Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Charlotte from at Charlotte's House. I am coming to you from the backyard because my project for this week is right here. My plans are to give a little love to this back little porch area, and then I'm gonna put in a patio. I've never put in a patio. Am I scared? Yes. Is it gonna be a lot of work? Also yes, but it is gonna make such a nice difference back here. So let's get started. This patio makeover is proudly sponsored by the Home Depot, powered by Hubspace. Do you remember back when I added these garden beds, I did stake off what I think will be the potential patio. And just to make my life easier, I think I'm gonna keep it with a rectangle. So I'm gonna measure again, and I'm gonna clear a rectangle. The goal is that you'll step down off of the porch and then there'll just be a little patio right here. This back deck is in fine shape. I don't love the color and I don't love that lattice, so I'm gonna take the lattice off on either side. Obviously, I'll have to put some railings back in to make it up to code. I'm gonna power wash, sand, and then I will quickly paint this. And then the patio is going in right here. I have enough material to make about a 10-foot by 20-foot patio. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna start it on this garden bed and then I'm gonna just bring it over here. I wanna make a straight rectangle. I'm hoping to do this without making any cuts. So when you step off of these stairs, the patio will start right here, but I'm gonna spray it out now and see if that makes sense. I've marked off the patio. I think you can see the stakes. And what I am standing here sort of considering in my mind is what can fit on this patio. And I think if I mark it off like this, there can be a little seating area here, or maybe even a little table in this corner, and then a little seating area here. On this day, I was racing the weather a little bit. I was also wildly optimistic as to what I thought I could accomplish, but my goal was to pressure wash the deck, and then while that was drying, shift over to removing the grass for the patio, and then go back to sand the deck. Found something interesting when I was pressure washing. I'm a little nervous. There's a couple of stones under there. There's one, there's two. Knowing my luck, there is a full patio under this grass, which I guess would be a good thing, but I've ordered a bunch of stones to put in a patio. Let's see. I'm not gonna lie, this part was not fun. I had to remove all that grass. They do make a tool that will pull up the grass for you, but it's really big and really heavy, so I just did it by hand, but it was hard. I am making great progress. I'm about halfway done. I am laughing because I don't know if it was a walkway or a full patio. Look what I found buried under the grass. I feel like the motto of this house has been, why remove anything if you can just cover it up? Whenever I'm doing one of these projects that is really long and arduous, there's something about showing you the last little bit that feels so satisfying. So this is the last piece of grass that I removed, and now I am ready to start on the patio itself. I am calling in reinforcements for this, and I am so glad I did. This is Sam. She is tiny but mighty. Sam and I have done a lot of fun stuff together. She has a YouTube channel. You've probably seen DIY Huntress. She's the best. This was the most frustrating part of the morning. I wanted to use my tiller and it started right up, and then I stopped it so we could get organized, and then it wouldn't start up again. We tried to do it a little bit by hand. We even FaceTimed Sam's dad, who was a landscape contractor, and we don't know what was going on. So we ultimately just went back to Home Depot and we rented a tiller. We used it for about 10 seconds, but it was really helpful in just turning up this dirt so that we could tamp it down smooth next. We quickly hammered in some stakes and ran a line just so we could see where we were standing with the grade, and honestly, we were pretty close. Once we finally rented the tiller, we tilled the space, and then that big apparatus that you see is a tamper. You can do this by hand, but it was really helpful to have this tool. It took 2 people to lift it into the car. It is so heavy, but it worked like a charm. I did one pass, and then Sam wanted to get involved, and she did another, and then we started with the heavy lifting. These bags that you see us unloading are step 1 of the patio base. They are kind of like a gravel. Essentially, we're gonna put down a coarse material, then we're gonna tamp it down, then we're gonna put down like a sandy material, and then we will be ready to put the pavers in place. I felt guilty that I had forced Sam to come and do manual labor with me in the heat, so I tried to do as much of the heavy lifting, and she was in charge of opening the bags, but who am I kidding? This whole thing was hard and hot, and we loved it. but it was hard and hot. Once we had spread out all of the first paver base, we went back over it with the tamper. You can see how smooth it makes us. We made sure to check the grade periodically. The goal with this patio is obviously to have it slope ever so slightly away from the house, and so far that's exactly where it lies. It's looking really smooth, right? We were hot and tired at the end of the first day, so I forgot to set up my camera to show you this second part, but do you see how there's some sand that is in place? We loaded that the same way we did the gravel, and now we are back for day 2 to put down all of the pavers. You can see Sam with the 2x4 and a level. She was essentially smoothing out the sand and just making sure that everything was pretty close to level before we went in with the pavers themselves. I don't know that we had much of a technique, but what worked for us is that we would bring over one paver at a time and we would eyeball to make sure that the sand underneath it was smooth. Then we would put the paver down, step up onto it to see if there was any sort of wiggle or rocking. We also wanted to make sure that the pavers were flush with the ones next to it. So then we would often have to tip it up or pick it up, and the other person would go in and smooth out the sand or add sand where we needed to. Slow going, but not hard necessarily, just kind of fussy. It's a very big deal. One pallet down. We have one more pallet left. We're gonna get out our blade and open that up. Don't think I wasn't gonna show you the last paver we put in place. This next step is sort of like putting grout between tiles. It just brings everything together. This is something called polymeric sand. I don't know if I'm saying it the right way, but it's exactly what it sounds like. It is a really thin sand that you pour onto the pavers. You sweep it into all of the joints, and then you spray it lightly with water, and the water kind of activates it. I don't think it's like a concrete per se, but there's no question that it sort of hardens and comes together. And this not only makes the pavers look nicer, but it sort of locks them in place. So hopefully over time, as the seasons change, they won't move and shift out of place. The delivery of pavers came with this layout. And honestly, if I had had to figure this out, it would have taken me a month. But that's exactly what we did. This is the part of the project when I started to shift gears and think about how I was going to make this space look super pretty. This project was sponsored by the Home Depot, and I am bringing in all of their Hubspace smart lighting to make the patio look super cute. And I wanted to show Sam some of the products that I had picked out. I have a deck light, I have some string lights, I have some landscape lighting. Spoiler alert, these were super easy to install. I'm going to show you how I did it. This is basically show and tell.
Oh, cuties! Right?
Sadly, I had to say goodbye to Sam and finish this project without her, but I am so thankful that she was part of this, and you're gonna have to stay tuned because I'm going to help her with a project at her house, and I can't wait. This isn't really part of the patio itself, but it's all part of this backyard makeover. I had to take care of this deck. So you can see me sanding so much red dust, and then I gave it another pressure wash just to clean off all the dust. Then I gave it a coat of my favorite Behr deck over paint. I used this in my own house. I used it on the front porch. It's a really thick paint, so it does great with wood like this where there might be some nooks and crannies. This deck is in great shape. It just needs a little bit of love, and this coat of gray paint did the trick. Time to make some cute planters. This is electrical conduit that I am cutting down to size. It's $10 a piece, so it's a little more inexpensive than other materials, but you do want to prep it for weather. So I am wiping it smooth. In order to hold the lights in place, I am hammering a wooden dowel into the top. Then I am screwing in an eye hook. I will seal this whole thing off with enamel spray paint and some silicone. And then I put it into my favorite resin planters. I'm using a combination of leftover patio gravel with some quick set cement to make sure that those poles are locked in place in the planters. I use my right angle to make sure that everything is straight. You only have to hold it in place for a few minutes before the concrete sets up. This is my favorite way to make planters. I am back at the flip house, obviously. And today I am doing the finishing touches on the patio. The hardscape was a big part of this project, but creating an atmosphere and sort of bringing this patio to life is really what I'm most excited about. I am gonna do that with the help of Home Depot and some of their Hubspace lighting products. These are all smart lights so that they will connect to my app. Where do I wanna start? I think I've showed them to you before, but I have a handful of these path lights. Best part about these lights is that it comes with the transformer. What that means is that I can install all of these path lights and they will plug into the transformer and I won't have to call my electrician. I'm gonna plug the transformer into one of the wall outlets. I will mount this, and then I can run all of my path lights off of that. I think it's gonna be a whole mood, a whole vibe. I can't wait to see it all come together. This is me quickly reading the instructions because I'm a rule follower. I cannot tell you how simple this whole setup is. It's so simple. You need a separate roll of landscape wire. You literally strip the end of this, and then one wire is gonna go in one channel, and the other wire is gonna go in the other channel, and that's it. What's even more exciting is this is the end of the light itself. I'm going to run the wire through here, and then you literally just pinch it. This will go into one side, this will go into the other, boop, boop. That's it. My transformer will power 200 watts. Each light consumes 3 watts. Let's go see where these are gonna work the best. These are all the landscape lights. Honestly, I wish I had purchased like 12 of these. I would have put them everywhere. And now that I've done them and I see how simple it is to install, I wish I had more. I'm measuring out the wire just to make sure I have enough. And then I'm gonna go ahead and attach this to my transformer. So I've split the end of the landscape wire, and then I'm gonna strip the rubber coating off to expose the wires, and then I'll put those into the transformer. It attaches to the house with just 2 screws, and it even comes with a template so you know exactly where to screw them in. This isn't the best video because all you can see is my butt, but you get the idea. Really simple. And I wanted to make sure they worked. They do. They couldn't be cuter. I can't wait to see how these look at night. Here I am hanging up the string lights. You'll notice that there's only 4 planters. I realized when I started hanging that because these outdoor lights are just heavier than indoor lights, I needed 1 more planter to support the weight of the wire in the middle. I use one of these things to attach the string lights to the eye hooks on the top of the pole. They are called quick links or locking carabiners. I am not staging the whole house, but I had to stage the patio. I found this cute furniture on Facebook Marketplace, so this is me unloading it here. I am already getting excited for the epic s'mores party that we are gonna have out here with my family. I brought the family over, and here we are. First fire pit on the patio. Look, she's done. Isn't it the cutest? Can we talk about how cute this space is? I still can't believe that this was just grass and a weird red deck, and now it is such a cozy place. If I lived in this house, I would come out here and hang out all the time. Give me a moment to gush about these Hubspace products because they truly are what bring this hardscape to life. The first thing that I just can't say enough about was how easy it was to install. Having that transformer on the side of the house and allowing me to hook up all of my own landscape lights, that not only saved me so much money not having to bring in my electrician, but it means that I can customize and do whatever I want with these landscape lights. The fact that all of these lights can be controlled on my phone is something else that I will never get tired of. Like, I'm sitting at home right now recording this voiceover, and I could open up the app and I could go ahead and turn on all of my landscape lights. I could change the colors. I could do anything I want, and that is like magic. I love the fact that I can change the brightness of the lights, that I can change the warmth of the lights. And of course, my kids love the fact that I can make them blue or green or pink. Please go click on the links in this video description and go check out all these lights. They were so easy to set up and use, and I just can't speak highly enough about them all. Here's what I would say about this project now that it is all finished. I would definitely do this again. We saved so much money not hiring this out to a landscaper or a mason, and I'm really proud of that. You definitely need a second person to help you with this, and it is definitely hard labor. The number of times that Sam and I looked at each other and realized that we could not do this every day of the summer was many. For 2 or 3 days, it was definitely worth it. I am super grateful that my yard is essentially flat to begin with. We didn't have to do a lot of work to fix the grade for this patio. If we had, I think that would have been a lot more complicated. The last thing I would say is that the patio alone does not make this backyard feel the way I wanted. I had to bring in landscaping. I had to bring in some decor and some furniture, and I had to have this lighting. Those landscape lights, the string lights, even the new deck light, it makes such a difference. And those are the details that make this space feel warm and inviting, which is exactly what I wanted. This is also the type of project that makes me realize I am super grateful to have friends like Sam who will come and help me do crazy projects like this. I am also super grateful to work with brands like the Home Depot. When they reached out to me about featuring their smart Hubspace lighting, I asked whether I could do this in conjunction with a patio, and they trusted me. We spent all night sitting out here roasting marshmallows, enjoying the new space, and honestly, as the sun set, it got even more magical. I am so proud of this space, and I hope you all enjoyed watching it come together as much as I did. I have some fun videos coming up, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching, and have a great day, everyone. Nope, all clear. Why don't you do a wider shot, Charlotte? Well, because this is what we're dealing with. Not cute. So cute.